danger ahead. Claire walked on, avoiding the puddles that glistened like mercury pools in the light of the full moon. She could smell manure and damp vegetation as the moon suddenly disappeared behind a bank of clouds. Then, in the shock of the darkness, she stumbled over something lying in the lane. She put out a tentative hand to see what the obstacle was, hoping that her fingers wouldn't meet the soft, dead corpse of some creature run down by a speeding car. But when she felt the rough, cold wood of a fallen branch, she exhaled with relief. As she levered herself up, an owl swooped out of nowhere, and the sudden movement of those silent, ghostly wings sent a shock through her body. But she forced herself to stand and ignore the stinging graze on her knee and the gaping hole in her new patterned tights. Just a couple of 100 yards to go now, and then she'd be in sight of home. Suddenly, a throaty noise shattered the darkness like the roar of a lion. She froze and pressed her body against the hedgerow, wincing as the twisted wood bit into her flesh. After a couple of seconds, a pair of bright headlights lit up the lane. Temporarily dazzled, Claire shielded her eyes as the vehicle shot past. And as the sound of the engine receded, she stood quite still by the side of the road until her eyes readjusted to the moonlight. She took a deep breath and began to walk on, trying to ignore the sounds of the night, the eerie scream of a distant fox, the predatory screech of an owl. She was nearly home. But the animal she saw as she rounded a blind bend made no sound as it walked silently towards her. A strange creature, the size of a man, stalking on cloven hoofs, like the devil. It didn't move particularly fast, but she sensed its power. If she attempted to get away, she knew it could follow and outrun her easily. But she had to make the effort to escape somehow, even though her limbs felt heavy and useless, as if some unseen force had fixed lead weights to her feet. In the middle of the Devon countryside, there was nobody to hear you scream, and Claire knew that, even if fear hadn't paralyzed her throat, any cry for help would be futile. With a huge effort, she turned away from the thing and attempted to run. There was a cottage back near the main road, and if she could just reach it, she would be safe. So with the vision of that glowing cottage fixed in her mind like some heavenly city, she began to move. There was no need to look back to see whether it was still following. Even though it moved silently, she knew it was behind her and getting closer. As it caught her waist, she lost her footing and stumbled to the ground, unaware of the pain as the gravel bit into her knees. Then the thing's soft hands, like great paws, closed around her neck, and something thin that felt like wire began to bite into her flesh. Her hand shot up instinctively to her throat, and she tried with all her strength to wrest the thing off. But the thin ligature cut in deeper as she fought for each precious breath. Claire's struggle for life seemed to last forever, but in reality it was only a few seconds before she was vaguely aware of the droning engine of another vehicle, approaching with frustrating slowness. All of a sudden, she felt herself tumbling forward again onto the rough road surface as her body was released from the creature's murderous embrace, and she lay there, stiff with terror, hardly daring to move. Whatever it was had let her go. But it could still be there, waiting in the shadows like a cat, preparing to return to a bird half tortured to death for its pleasure. Then headlights appeared around the bend, bathing Claire's body with light as she lay sprawled across the road. But by the time the van had screeched to a halt, she had lost her fight for consciousness, and the thing that had tried to take her life had disappeared.